And finally, it's my pleasure to introduce Peter, who I think everybody knows. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay? Any problems there? No? Can everybody grab a seat? If it's kind of tight, feel free to move over. I want to welcome you to what's effectively our third consecutive seminar. Our first seminar was about the overall state of the condominium market. Our second seminar was on the rental rate market, what was kind of going on in terms of that aspect of the marketplace. And now what this focus is going to be on is first-time home buyers. We have a real solid cast today who will be some experts who are really in the industry. You'll see them quoted in the publications, you'll see them on TV occasionally, you'll see a variety of different things, but you're going to get some real solid information. We're not going to be blowing smoke. We're going to tell you really kind of what's going on out there, all the information that we look at as Condo Vultures on our consulting side. And I should tell you, we have two companies. We have a consulting company, and we also have a licensed Florida real estate brokerage. But all the information we rely on is always third-party attributable. It's always solid information. We just want to educate you. Once you have that information, you decide how and what you want to do with that information, and if there's some way we can assist you with it, we're going to do that. And the other speakers who are going to follow me are going to be very similar. We have a gentleman who's coming from Great Florida Bank. He'll be talking about some of the nuances of going out there and actually trying to be able to obtain financing in this marketplace. It can be challenging, but with the appropriate preparation and with some study and with a ton of documentation, you are going to be able to pull it off. And then we also have the bonus of having a gentleman here who's gone through the process on behalf of buildings, and he's helped them secure their Fannie Mae or the FHA approval. The reason that's going to be key is most of the financing that is out there, they're requiring this seal of approval from Fannie Mae or from FHA. So you're going to get some of the real in-the-trench type of intel. So as you're going out there and you're looking for property and trying to figure out what exactly you want to buy or how you're going to buy it, you'll understand what's going on the other side of the table, and that's ultimately is going to be the key. So let me start off by giving you kind of a state of the marketplace. Where do we stand right now today on the 28th of July 2009? First and foremost, it's critical to remember, if you look at the statistics, South Florida hit its pinnacle, its peak of the marketplace, November of 2005. So if you scratch your head and you think about it, we've been effectively free-falling ever since then. We're starting to see some signs in different sub-markets of some traction. We're starting to see some leveling off in certain markets. It's always going to be sub-market by sub-market, and effectively when you get into the downtown area, it's going to be building by building by building. I mean, you could have an overall bad sector, but very good buildings that are doing well. I'll give you some examples of that. You're going to hear probably in the next week or two, there's a project down on Brickell called Brickell on the River. They just paid off their construction loan, and they are effectively going to be 100% sold out. There's some other projects that are going in that same direction. There's a project called Marina Blue, same type of scenario. Not FHA approved, not Fannie Mae approved, but because of the quality, you're seeing the all-cash buyer going in there and pulling that off. As you look at other buildings, you're going to find the real key to success is being a building that has a Fannie Mae or an FHA. Again, that government seal of approval, you're going to find that that's really prompting a lot of transactions as well. So if somebody needs financing, they're going to tend to steer towards a Fannie Mae or an FHA building. If they're tending to go all cash, they're going to play in a little bit different marketplace. But overall, in South Florida right now today, there are 11,967 condominium associations. That's Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. Of the 11,967 condominium associations that exist, 721,000 units. Now, as we sort of drill down, we look at Miami-Dade and Broward, which I think probably is where most of the people who are here at this seminar are going to be focusing. What you'll find is there's roughly 533,000 units that exist. Broward, Dade County, 533,000. If you look at what was constructed or turned into a condominium since 2003, which is primarily when most people consider the kind of the peak or the beginning of the boom, we built about 125,000. Well, I shouldn't say built, we condoized about 125,000 units. So of the 533 that exist, roughly 125,000 have all come online since 2003. Of the 125,000 units that have come online, and again, this is big picture to give you an understanding of where we're going, 53,000 are new, 74,000 are condo conversions. So at the end of the day, really, there's more condo conversions than there are new product. And if you look at the condo conversions, they're going to tend to be the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s type of a product that should have stayed rentals, but somehow were converted because there was some loose financing available. It was something that people thought they could go in and they could buy, they could live the American dream, but very quickly they got caught up in an all-day or an option arm or some kind of exotic financing, and now lo and behold, they're starting to give it back. And when you ask about that giving it back, how many foreclosures do we have going on right now? Sort of think about this number. 2007, Tri-County area, Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 33,000 foreclosure filings. You look at 2008, we were up to 75,000 foreclosure filings, and when you look at where we are in the first half of 2009, we're already on pace for 104,000, 52,000 filings in the first 6 months of the year. So everybody says, well, all these foreclosure filings are coming down the pike. That means the market's going to get flooded, and there's going to be all this inventory out there, and prices are going to fall more and more and more. Well, really what we're seeing is when you look at, I don't know how much everybody understands the foreclosure process, it's typically about a 6 to 9 month process. When the bank files that foreclosure action, the first step that's necessary to alert everyone that there's going to be a foreclosure in place, you're typically about 90 days late on your payment. So you haven't paid for 3 months, and now the bank says, okay, well, we're gonna let everybody know we're gonna try to take back this property from you. They'll then go the next 6 to 9 months, and they'll try to reclaim that property. Now, ultimately when they get back that property, what they'll do is they'll cleanse the title. If there's any issues, if anybody owes any money, if there's open permits, if there's liens, if there's anything like that, they will then turn around, cleanse that, and then take it to market. There's typically, from what we're experiencing, about a 60-day lag time. So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's gonna take about a year to, say, 15 months from a property from the first time the person doesn't pay to the time when you ultimately might be able to buy it. So if you think about 52,000 foreclosures right now in the first 6 months of this year, and if we look at going forward, you would imagine that the REOs, or which many of the title companies refer to, the REOs are going to start to overwhelm the market. An REO being real estate owned, it's simply a designation that a bank provides or designates to a property that they now possess or that they have on their file. But actually what we've seen is in the second quarter, there's actually a reduction of REOs. The bank owns actually fell. It fell by about 16%. And what we're understanding, one of the reasons it's falling, one of it might have to do with the banks holding back, much like the OPEC cartel does. You have so much oil out there, and if you can control bringing it to market, you can stabilize pricing, you can start to run up the pricing, you can start to dictate what's going on. Or some of the other reasons we're seeing potentially as to why the REOs aren't moving the way they should is, if you remember back at the end of the year, there was this feeling that we needed to help everybody, and there was a mortgage moratorium, foreclosure moratorium that was put in place. It was encouraged by Governor Chris. It was encouraged by Governor Schwarzenegger out in California. Some of the lenders felt as if that's the right thing to do. So I think some of that probably had a little bit of an impact on ultimately on the stabilization, or at least the slowdown in REOs. So I guess the next question becomes, where do we kind of go from here? Well, here's sort of what we know. Every Monday, typically about 2 o'clock or so, I get on the multiple listing service. Multiple listing service, for anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's basically the database that all the different realtors use to put a property on there, and the realtors can, it's effectively a marketplace. Think of it like a trading pit for realtors who are out on the ground. And the multiple listing service doesn't really provide you historical context. It's telling you where are we right now today. So every Monday I get on there and I look and I see, okay, how many properties are for sale residential-wise? Single family, condo, townhouse. So I started doing that last Thanksgiving. I did it the 24th of November. The reason I did it is September and October of last year, we started feeling inventory slip through our hands. Again, our brokerage side, we work on the buy side, so our job is to identify the opportunity or the scenario and then go in there and try to run down the pricing. So we started noticing last September, October that the inventory was starting to become depleted. Not in a big way, but it was really starting to move. So I started tracking every Monday, I look at the numbers. And what I can tell you is the week of Thanksgiving, we had 108,000 properties on the market in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. This is single family condo townhouse. Where we are today, as of yesterday, is 76,000 properties. Now, so we've effectively had about a 28% decrease in available inventory that's on the marketplace. We've lost about 30,000 properties off the market. Now, what's also been interesting is when you look at what we've lost, we're losing single family a little bit quicker than we're losing the condos. So what's going on is people are going after that first time home, and they're saying, okay, well, maybe I'm going to feel a little bit more comfortable in the house, and you know, I got some dirt there, and everybody in my family is saying that that's what I need to have instead of a condominium. So they're all going into the single family house market. Single family house market now is just fallen below 30,000 listings. We got about 47,000 listings of condominiums. We used to be close to 60,000. We've now fallen to 47,000 on the condo side. Single family house is now down to about 29,500 or so. If anybody wants the specific numbers, I'd be happy to provide it to you. So really what you're seeing is as people decide, okay, I'm gonna go after a single family house, they're going in there, and as they go in there, you're really finding that the competition for those units or for those single family houses, it's getting fierce.